Hey guys, I wanted to show you how to get your TinkerCAD assignment done for Thanksgiving project 11, part 1, and then your Christmas or New Year's project 11, part 2. We're working on a tiny scale, so that might be the more difficult part. But if you're new to TinkerCAD, be sure to look at some of these tutorials if you didn't do this last year in 7th grade. So if you would click Learn at the top and then see your starters here and just go through these different lessons to get the basics of TinkerCAD. Come up in just a second. And this one is about just placing a block over to the middle. This one is about positioning your view so you can see different parts and how things are connected. This one's just about moving blocks around on the work plane. And then this last one over here is just learning to rotate, and then sizing blocks, grouping blocks, and if you want to create a hole, and then when you group them together, then it puts a hole through that block. And then this one's alignment, which is real important to make things look really good. And it does all the work for you when you learn what these different little handles do. So once you've gotten the basics down, then you'll click back on the main dashboard. I clicked the TinkerCAD logo to get back to the main dashboard, and you'll click Create New Design. And once it comes up, you'll see the work plane is a bigger area than I want for this assignment. So you're going to have to edit your grid to be 6 millimeter by 8 millimeter. So you see the edit grid on the bottom right. Click that, and then change these numbers to 6 and 8, and then update your grid. And see how tiny it is? You have to zoom in. On a touchpad, that's 2 fingers scrolling forward. And this will allow you to see that work plane. And this is when I click and drag this little box in the top left corner, it allows me to see different perspectives of it. Okay, so when you're working on this small scale, this nano scale, you'll have to resize all of your shapes as you work. So when I bring out this box, that cube now is too big. So I have to resize it. Now you could just click and drag the corner to bring it in. Or you can actually type in the number that you want. Okay. Let's see. Let's make a little chair for this Thanksgiving dinner. And your design doesn't have to be like mine. You can do your own design. Let's just start out with, let's see, 3 millimeters, and put these down to maybe 5 and 5. Let's see. We're still too big for our little scene, right? Let me see if I can drag this over and click off of it and drag it over. So we're barely fitting into our scene right now. Let's see. If this was the seat of my chair, I might want to make the height 0.5 millimeters, right? Or maybe even smaller. And these might be 1 millimeter each, I guess. That looks a little better. Doesn't seem like it's on the, let's see, we'll raise it up just a little bit by clicking and dragging that little black arrow. All right, and so then we'll need some other blocks for the legs and for the back of the chair. So I could just copy that, Control C, and then paste it, Control V, and then I don't have to resize that other big block. And let's see if I rotate this 90 degrees, click and drag this little arrow, or you can type in 90. All right, and then you can move it over. I use my arrow keys there. Now notice it's jumping 1 millimeter each time on this snap grid. So I would change that to maybe 0.1 or 0.5. Just see what works for you on that. Or you can use that alignment that you may have learned in that tutorial. So I click and drag to select them all, click my align button at the top, and then I can use this handle. So I want it to go down so that it's in that bottom corner, and I want it to go to all the way to the back, right? So it kind of looks like more like a seat. And I think these are still too thick. So I'm going to shrink that down some to maybe 0.25. And the same for this one for the height. Okay, and then to make my legs, same idea. I might just copy one of these and paste it and kind of move it out here and work with it a little bit. Now my width was 0.25, so I'll make this other one also 0.25, and that looks pretty good, but I want it all the way down, right? All the way down, so I bring that all the way down to where that distance is 0 to the work plane. And let's try to go ahead and align it to the corners of this chair. Now, if I go ahead and group this, it'll all stay together. That's my group button. And then when I align these together, that'll help me make sure my corners match. So there's my alignment. And let's see, we'll click this corner, right? And it looks like we're on that back corner. You see that one's highlighted back there and this one's highlighted. So really on that back corner. It looks pretty good. I'm going to click off of it for a second. And I'm going to click on that one leg. And I'm going to copy and paste it. Move it out of the way a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and merge this one since it looks good to me. And group it together. And now I can align these two pieces to put my leg in the other section. And I want this one in the right side as well, but now let's bring it to the front corner. And if you look at it, you'll see my legs are starting to look pretty good. Okay, so that's the gist of how to create a chair on the nano scale on this 6 by 8 millimeter grid. Hope that helps.